What is up, guys? It is Zach Plauché. I am extremely tired, and in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to make the most out of the print function in Python. So without further ado, let's get into it. So first, I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to say main.py here. Whoop, that's not main.py, that's main.lpy. That's not accurate. So right here, you've seen the print statement before. You say print, it's like the first thing people do when they run Python. Let's say you want to say print hello world, like so. So if we take this, make that capitalized, we run it, and in our terminal, it prints out hello world. So that's cool. That's pretty basic. Let's see, we have our different data types, so we can have a list of one. Whoop, you know what? Let's just write it like this. So list 1, 2, 3, like that. We can print a list like so. You press play or you run the file. Oh, right, that's not what I meant. 1, 2, 3. There we go. So you say list 1, 2, 3, and then boom, we have a list of 1, 2, 3. It prints it like usual. So that's pretty cool. Now, we know that if you put something just normally in here, like ASDF, it's going to print that right in the terminal. Now, what happens if you simply add a comma and say something else? So ASDF hello, or what if instead of saying ASDF, we say hello, then the second one is Bob. So let's go ahead and run this. As you can see, it says hello Bob with a space. Now, why is there a space here, and why did I add a comma instead of just writing it together? Because I could literally just write it like this, hello Bob, and run it. Okay, that works. But as you might have noticed, by default, if you just add a comma here, and these are 2 arguments now, and we run it, it says hello Bob again. So the reason that this is happening is because print actually has some defaults built into it. So for example, there's a separate argument, and as we can see here on our VS Code, whatever this is called, we're going to see that by default, there is a args or a star args of value, which means we can enter however many arguments we want into this, and it's going to print all of those. Now, there is another one right here that says sep with the type of string or none is equal to ... Now that for some, I don't know why it says ellipses here, because it does have a value. Oh yeah, so it's right here. So yeah, there is the value that does continue for however many variables that, or however many arguments you want to pass here, but it does have a sep right here. So what does sep do? By default, we can see that sep has a space in between it. So what that does, if we say here, sep equals, let's see what happens when we add 2 spaces. Bleep. So we run the file, and now sep is equal to 2. We look down here, and oh, look at this. Now there's 2 spaces between hello and Bob. Okay, that's pretty cool. What if I wanted to say, instead of a space, we put a dash here? So let's try this. Oh, look, now it's a dash. Hello, Bob, with a dash in the middle. Okay, that's pretty neat. But what happens if, what if we do this? Let's say \n as the separation and run this guy. Okay, so now each of our items are on a new line. So what happens if we take a list, like my list is equal to 1, 2, 3 inside of a list, like so. Then we say my list, but instead of just saying my list, we're going to say star my list. So let's try this. Okay, as we can see, 1, 2, 3 are separated by a new line. That is why when you print this single line without more than one print statement, or without doing it through a for loop, it is going to print for us 1, 2, and 3. Now, what's the benefit of doing it this way versus just saying for item in my list, print item? Let's run this guy. So that's the same result, But the only difference is instead of running the print statement one time with 3 different variables here, or let's see, like this, we're actually running it 3 times using a for loop, which is inefficient because luckily we're able to do a lot of things with the print statement with only 1 line of code. So not only does your file get cleaner, but it also lets you do a lot cooler things. Another one that's pretty neat is the ending. So there's this is pretty much the only one that I'll go to because I couldn't actually tell you what file or flush do. So we're going to stop at the end. So let's see. We can also change this to dashes. So let's try that and put this back to the default, which is a new line. So yeah, so 1, 2, 3. So the default variable for the end parameter here is a new line. So what this is if separation is what is between variables, and by the way, let's see what happens if we set sep to a dash and we say something like hello here. So only one variable, what happens? All right, so as you can see, absolutely nothing because that is the, well, so there's nothing to separate because there's only one argument. So if there's not more than one argument in the beginning before you define sep and end, essentially nothing's going to happen because nothing's getting separated. Now, the endings does still take place here. So as you can see, we ran our file, it says hello, and there's an empty line right below it. So what happens if we add another empty line here? So what if I said double \n at the end? What happens? All right, so as you can see, there are 2 lines. What happens if we add nothing? What if it's just an empty string? All right, so now it is right here. So nothing is right below it. And yeah, it's pretty much completely up to you to decide here. But normally it does have a \n. But what if instead of that, we want to just have a, I don't know, some dots or some V's pointing down as if our file is moving downward. Well, that wouldn't happen because you need to add a new line break in front of it. But now, as you can see, it is pointing downwards. And maybe, just maybe, just goddamn maybe, we can say this. And boom. So after this print statement, it gives us this nice, pretty little line here. So that's how you control the end. That's how you control the sep. And that is essentially as many basics as you need with the print statement in order to use it more effectively. Oh, one thing that might be really useful as well that you will see in a lot of my videos in general. Sometimes when I want to explore what a specific object does, like let's say you want to play with a string and you're like, I wonder what else I can do with a string besides just say hello with it. Like maybe, yeah, let's just see what the string has to offer. So what you can do is you can use this. You can say star dir. So what this star does is it automatically unpacks a list into multiple arguments inside of a print function. So if I say star dir and then my string, and then I say separated by a new line, what this does is when you run this, it gives you a long list of every single method that you can use on a string. So as you can see, we have string, something like string upper, we have zfill, we have title case, swap case, which I couldn't, oh yeah, that just swaps the case. If it's lower, it goes to upper. If it's upper, it goes to lower. There's strip, lower, and a bunch of other nice things. So yeah, once you have that, then you can test it. You can be like, ooh, that sounds cool. Let's say print hello dot upper. And instead of hello, it says, let's see, hello in all caps. So that's what this does. So yeah, we see that this unpacks an iterable inside of our method here, or inside of our print statement. So another thing, like let's say instead of this separated or this separate by a new line, we want to change this just to a dash. So what happens now? This should be interesting. All right, yeah, so we have a giant shish kebab of a bunch of different commands that are a part of string. Okay, but what happens if we say star on a string itself? Let's say hello. Now we only have hello, or say you have like someone's name, like I don't know, Zach. That's a cool one. We run that. Okay, so now it's Zach separated by these because each letter of a string was put in as an argument because strings are iterable. What if I do underscores? You know what? What if I put dot lower here because now I know that that's an option and we do like that. Whoa. What about double underscore? How does that look? Alrighty. What about triple? Okay, you know what? What about doing this little number between every single variable? Yep. So as you can see, we have this trailing star line of Zach and that. Yep. There we go. That is beautiful. It has a lot of these little faces though. That was unintentional, but I'm glad I did it. So yeah, there's a lot of things that, as you can see, that we can do with this print statement. And yep, that's pretty much the video. That was just my short idea because I'm super duper tired today and I recorded way too late because I've been working on a crazy Discord bot for a CSGO community. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Until next time, bye for now. And if you like the video, subscribe. Boop.